Me again. Hi guys, it's Nathara at CrowSong Lodge, and I'm back with another video. And for the last several months, I've been talking to this really great gal on Twitter. She's at Sun Opposite Moon, and we've been talking about astrology. She knows so much. She really knows how to explain it in a way that I understand, which is really, really hard to do because I've been trying to learn astrology for like 30 years. So anyway, she's super intelligent. I really suggest you follow her on Twitter. She's super smart, and she just knows people, and she knows her stuff really, really well. So shout out to her, go follow her, learn lots and lots of good stuff. Anyway, we've been talking about the differences between numerology and astrology because one of the first things that I learned divination-wise when I was younger was numerology. And she mentioned at one point that I use it much more differently than other people do, and that's something that I have noticed as well. And I think part of that is because I learned it from my mother and from my mother's books and my mother's friends and da-da-da-da. So I do numerology what I consider to be a very old way. And not so like pop numerology that we see a lot now. So I just wanted to kind of share with you some quick and easy techniques and make numerology a lot more practical in your day-to-day life. Okay? So first of all, what is numerology, right? Okay, so numbers have their own vibrational frequency. Each number has a different set of qualities that go with it, and all numbers can be reduced to number 1 through 9. This is a European pre-Arabic system. So before we met the people in the Middle East and were introduced to the number 0. So as far as numerologists are concerned in the Western system, 0 is not a number, and we just ignore it. And then we take all numbers and we reduce them down to a single digit number. So we add up numbers, and then we reduce them to a single digit. So basically what we would do is, like, for my birth date, let's say it was, it's September 1st, 1979, right? So we would add all that up. So that would be 9 and 1 is 10, 1 and 0 is just 1. So we have 1, and then 1979 is going to be 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 9 is 11, 11 and 7 is 18, 18 and 9 is 27. That's a 2-digit number. We take the 2 and the 7, we add them together, and we get 9. And then that would give you my life path number. And so my life path number would be 9, and 9 is a number that tells you you have all the qualities, all the tools that you need. You're just one step away from putting it all together. So everything is at your disposal. The time for waiting is over, and now it's the time to act and bring it all together. There's nothing left to do except to do the thing. So that's what that number means. And each number has its own vibration. 1 is about leadership and individuality. 2 is about partnership and balance. 3 is about creation and creativity. 4 is about stability and balance. 5 is about independence and change. 6 is about family and emotional stability. 7 is about knowledge and learning. 8 is about time, going forwards and backwards and lasting forever. And 9 is about having all the tools and resources that you need in order to get things done and being one step away from completion. So that's it. That's all there is to numerology. And the different ways that we put numbers together, it gives us different information. Another really cool thing about numerology too is that we also assign all the letters in the English alphabet to different numbers. So A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, on and so forth. We go 1 to 9. So our first number 9 is I. And then at J, we start over at 1 and go through 9 again. So it's a pretty simple system. So the first couple things that I want to teach today are what I kind of consider party tricks. But they're really good shorthand, and they're really helpful when it comes to first meeting people. When you look up numerology online, you're going to get like, what's your destiny number? What's your personality number? What's your life path number? And those things. And those are really great, but they're kind of like long-term information that you need to apply across your lifetime in order to get the most information out of them and the most use out of them. But something that you can apply in the moment that's going to be really handy information just comes from the first name, the very first name. So my name is Nathara. The first letter of the name is going to tell you how the person likes to present themselves. N corresponds to the number 5. So that tells you that I present myself very much as an individual who is pretty much unconcerned with the rules. I like to change things up. I like to evolve things. I'm not really concerned with conforming. And if you know me, or if you've been following my channel for any length of time whatsoever, that's pretty spot on. Now, the first vowel in my name is going to tell you how I'm going to react emotionally to the situation, and how I'm going to react, my first impulse when a problem arises. So this is the way I feel inside, and how I'm going to react if I'm presented with a problem or bad news or something like that. And for me, for Nathara, that letter is A, and A corresponds to the number 1. So emotionally, I very much feel like an individual, and I feel like a leader, which goes nicely with that N at the beginning. And in a crisis or when a problem arises, I'm very likely to take charge of the situation, and I'm very much going to be like, okay, what do we got to do to take care of this? And that's how I'm going to react. So that's information that you can use whenever you meet somebody, and you know that you don't have to be like, okay, so give me your birth date, tell me every letter of your name so I know exactly who you are. Just from getting their first name, even if that first name that they give you is a nickname, it will give you this information just from those 2 letters. Now, for some people, that first letter of their name is going to be a vowel, like in the names Edward. So where you have the first letter of the name is the first is also the first vowel, that person is completely transparent. So that E corresponds to the number 5 again. So we already talked about the number 5, about how that's they're not concerned with conforming, they're all into change and evolution, and they just want to change the situation up. So that person is going to be completely nonconformist. They're into doing whatever it is they feel like they do. They like new experiences and changes. And if confronted with a problem, they're going to try to change the situation. How can we look at this differently? What are we missing? Let's get out of the situation. So that's going to be their first impulse, is like, let's just change the playing field right now. And they're very transparent about it. They're not going to try to hide that. They're not going to be trying to cover it up. But it can be a little difficult because not all situations can be changed. Sometimes you have to deal with them as they lie. So when you have that first name and first vowel corresponding to the same letter, then you just use it for both attributes, just like that. So that is some fun, handy, useful, everyday numerology stuff. In my day-to-day life, I use numerology a lot. Like I said, it was one of the first things that I learned after meditation and visualization that my mother taught me. I do use it a ton. That first name information, just those first 2 letters right off the bat, that comes in very handy when I'm trying to choose between 2 names to call something. Like if I don't know if I want to call a business this or something else, then I'll use numerology to figure it out. If I'm trying to decide between 2 addresses that I want to go to, I'll use numerology to figure it out. I mean, you could even like take your house numbers. So I used to live at 7135. So if I do the math on that, I'm getting over a cold, you guys. If I do the math on that, 7135 is going to be 7, 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11, plus 5 is 16, 1 and 6 is 7. So that tells me that when I lived there at that address, that experience was all about learning and gathering information, and it was just really about discovering different things about my life and where I was going and about myself. The time that I spent in that location was all about learning. And boy, did I learn a lot. So yes, so you can really look back on things like that and see where those aspects played in. Now, the one thing that you should keep in mind, a little twist on the whole thing, is when you end up with your final number as 11, 22, 33, 44, etc., those numbers are like master numbers, and they have their own special frequencies. So they carry both the reduced number and that master number frequency. So 11 is the master number of spiritual enlightenment and also partnership and balance, because 1 and 1 is 2. So it carries both of those energies in it. And so on and so forth throughout all the other master numbers as well. You're not going to come up with the other ones quite as often, but that 11 turns up fairly frequently. So, yeah, so that's my super simple numerology handy toolbox trick for you, like an intro to numerology kind of thing. And I would love to hear if you try this out, or if you like look at your family members' names and stuff, how that works out for you, and if it's consistent across what you're experiencing as well. And if you're having trouble interpreting those number vibrations, go ahead and let me know. I'm going to put more information about the specific vibrations of the numbers in the description here for this video, because I'm pretty sure it'll be more convenient than me just saying it out loud to you. Anyway, so this is Nathara at CrowSong Lodge, and expect to see some more videos soon. I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.